What's up everyone, Kyle Cessner. Welcome back to another video today with my AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door, I almost went name the pay-per-view, reactions, review, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, there will be a double upload today. Universe Mode will still be out on Monday, since it is Monday Raw. Universe Mode will still be out. And yeah, since you're getting a double upload today, there probably won't be a video tomorrow, just because I won't really be around tomorrow, so that would mean I'd have to record 3 videos and edit 3 videos today, and I just don't have the time for that. So you're getting 2 videos today, and then there probably won't be a video tomorrow. My run of daily uploads sadly coming to an end, but let's not dwell on that. Let's get straight into the review, kicking things off with the buy-in. Opening things up, Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi, of course representing Chaos, defeated the Factories, QT Marshall and Aaron Solo. The assisted GTR onto Solo to get the victory in a very solid opening contest. It was a good match, nothing really too special, but it was still a good match. And yeah, it was good to see Hiroki Goto on the card. I love Goto. I was hoping he did. I knew Tanahashi was going to beat him to qualify for the interim world title match, but I was hoping Goto would somehow get the upset in that. But at least we still got Hiroki Goto on the card, and he picked up the win for him and Yoshihashi. Next up on the buy-in, Nick Comoroto versus Lance Archer. Was this match announced? I literally have that written in my notes. Was this match announced? I do not remember seeing any hype or promotion for this match. I didn't even know this match was happening until Nick Comoroto and Archer made their entrance. So yeah, that's why I didn't do a prediction on it. I did not know this match was happening. I don't know if this was a last minute thing where they just added it, or it was something they announced prior. But yeah, anyway, Lance Archer gets the win over Comoroto with the blackout, giving Archer the win in the Battle of the Horses, and plus Archer is going to be in the G1, so kind of giving him a bit of momentum going into that for the New Japan fans, I guess. So yeah, Archer gets the win over Comoroto. Swerve Inner Glory then defeated Suzuki-Gun's Kanemaru and Desperado. Again, this match was really good. If you haven't, I really recommend watching this one. I really enjoyed this. Keith Lee using his size and strength, and Kanemaru and Despi trying to take out the legs and trying to wear him down. You know, using the whiskey to mist him, and a lot of good stuff. Swerve did a sick foot stomp to Desperado, who's using his feet to hang on to the bottom rope, and Swerve just stomped him out of it. That was cool. And yeah, in the end, Keith Lee and Swerve Scott, or not Swerve Scott, that was his name, Swerve Strickland picked up the win over Desperado and Kanemaru in a fun little match. And then Team Taz's Will Hobbs and Ricky Starks cut a promo on Lee and Swerve, kind of just continuing on that feud that they've been building there, just kind of calling them out, saying that Hobbs and Starks are the better team. So yeah, we're continuing on with that. Next up, LA Dojo versus the Gun Club plus Max Caster. Of course, Max Caster had a good little rap, and they continue doing the thing where Colton and Austin Gunn keep messing up the town and kind of getting things wrong. Then Danhausen appears on the Tron and says he's got a gift for the Ass Boys, and then a funny little song plays about the Ass Boys. This annoys Colton and Austin, who sprint backstage to try find Danhausen, leaving Billy Gunn and Max Caster against the 4 guys from the LA Dojo. But that wasn't a problem, as Caster and Billy get the win after a Famouser and a mic drop onto who was it again? The DKC, I believe it was. But yeah, the Famouser into the mic drop was enough to get the job done for Max Caster and Billy Gunn over the LA Dojo boys. And I've seen some people saying, oh, stupid having them win 2 and 4. The young lions, it doesn't really mean anything if they lose like 2-4. Like, they're literally just building themselves up. Going through the dojo system, it's not a big deal, in my opinion. Men's show kicks off. Sammy Guevara, Chris Jericho, and Minoru Suzuki versus Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta, and Shota Umino. Very, very good opener here. Very fun trios matchup. You know, yes, Kingston and Suzuki just chopping each other, going to war with each other. Shota Umino showing a lot of fire as a young lion. Well, he's out on excursion, but you know, he's showing a lot of fire and having a really good performance here. Really star-making performance here. In the ring with the likes of Suzuki, Jericho, and Sammy, you know, big names. He held his own, and he kind of had a big performance as the underdog trying to fight back. But in the end, Judas Effect puts away Shota Umino and gives the Jericho Appreciation Society the advantage going into Blood and Guts. They'll have the numbers games advantage in that one. And yeah, that was a very good way to open the show. Next up, IWGP and Ring of Honor Tag Team titles were on the line as FTR and the United Empires, Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb defended both sets of belts alongside Roppongi Vice. Very fun three-way tag team matchup, as you'd expect. There's a spot in the match where Dax goes backstage because it looks like he's injured, and I actually thought he was injured for a second. I was like, oh, this does is he actually injured? But you know, Cash is kind of getting worked over. Roppongi Vice are trying to work together with Roppongi Vice a bit. But in the end, the number games are just too strong. But then out comes Dax again, all taped up, allowing FTR to hit the big rig and become the new IWGP World Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, alongside retaining their Ring of Honor belts. And yeah, this match ruled. Very, very enjoyable match. 3 great tag teams, all doing the work, and FTR now have basically held every belt. Current AAA, current Ring of Honor, current IWGP, former AEW, former SmackDown, former Raw, former NXT. 7 different tag team titles for FTR. They are killing it, showing why they are one of the best tag teams in the world. And I'm very, very excited to see what they do with the IWGP belts. I'm sure they'll get brought over for a tour to Japan. And yeah, some very interesting stuff could come from this. You know, so yeah, excited to see what happens in with that. All Atlantic Championship Fatal 4-Way match. Miro, Pac, Malachi Black, and Clark Connors. I thought Connors looked very good. Of course, as a replacement for Ishii, but he kind of showed his own, or held his own against 3 great wrestlers in Miro, Pac, and Malik and Black. So yeah, very fun matchup this, and Pac gets the win with the Brutalizer on Clark Connors and becomes the first ever AEW All Atlantic champion. Again, very good Fatal 4-Way here. Lots of good spots, lots of great work by all 4 guys, and yeah, like a bit with Shota Umino holding his own in that opener and kind of having a bit of a star performance. I think the same could be said for Clark Connors. He did, like I said, he held his own with 3 of the best and looked good. Next up, we had Sting and Darby Allin teaming up with Shingo Takagi of Los Ingobernables de Japón to take on the Bullet Club. The Young Bucks returning to Bullet Club for one night only, alongside El Fantasma. Of course, Hiromu Takahashi was supposed to be in this match, but he had to pull out. He was unable to make his flight because he had a fever or something, I believe. Of course, Hikuleo was in the corner of the Bullet Club. He was supposed to be in the match, but with Hiromu having to be pulled, Hikuleo got taken out of the match. But yeah, it's sad that we didn't get to see Hiromu on this show, but it is what it is. Hopefully we can see him in AEW sometime soon. Again, fun little trios match here. Match starts. Sting's music hits. He's lost out for his team. You know, Darby and Shingo already in the ring. He doesn't appear. Then the Young Bucks and ELP come out with Hikuleo. And they're just kind of on the stage making their entrance, posing. Lights go off. We come back, or we see like a shadow, or well, we see someone dressed as Sting in the rafters, kind of looking down. Lights come back on. Then Sting is there on top of one of the entrance tunnels, does a dive off, and that's how we get the match started. Sting's AEW run has been wild. He's like 60 and he's just jumping off of stuff, and I'm loving it. Yeah. Then the match ends with Last of the Dragon onto El Fantasma to give the win for Sting and Darby. And yeah, that was a fun little matchup. It's good to see the Young Bucks back doing their Bullet Club stuff, again. And yeah, Shingo, Sting and Darby got the win, and they kind of did like the fist bump thing that LJ kind of do. It's a fun little match there. Then we have an interview with Tony Khan trying to interview Shota Umino again. Like I said, a lot of focus on Shota in the show. And actually, I forgot to mention this during the review of that matchup, but as Shota was making his entrance, they did show a clip from Wrestle Kingdom a few years ago when Shota, as a young lion, got put on the walls of Jericho by Chris. So I like how they kind of played up to, not only that he was John Moxley's young lion, but he's also in this match to get he was also had retribution to get in that matchup by going after Jericho. So yeah, speaking of Jericho and Shota, Jericho Appreciation Society shows up, and Chris ends up throwing a fireball into the face of young Shooter. So yeah, I'd like to see Umino get a bit of a run on AEW if he's still on excursion. Give him to AEW for like a month or two and let him do some cool stuff. There's like big fan of Shota Umino. I do think once he comes back from his excursion, he's going to be a big player in New Japan for time to come, for like in the future. I think he is going to be someone that will be in the top of the card. Tony Storm challenges Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's Belt. Again, a good little matchup here. Thunder Rosa gets the win with the final reckoning. Dustin Rhodes' finisher, of course, her mentor, to give her the win over Tony Storm in a good little matchup here. Again, not really much else to say on that one other than, again, good bell to bell, a lot of good stuff in that one. Orange Cassidy challenges Will Ospreay then for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. Of course, we see Juice Robinson up in the box with Bullet Club. He's still got possession of the belt. If you haven't been keeping up with that feud, he's supposed to defend the belt but had to pull out of a show for some reason. Ospreay then challenged Sonata for the championship. Ospreay won, but Juice hasn't relinquished the belt back to him. So yeah, Ospreay anyway gets the win over Orange Cassidy with the Stormbreaker in an awesome matchup. This was very, very good. I had high hopes for this one going in, and both men delivered. A lot of high, fast-paced action as you'd expect with both men. And yeah, some very good stuff there. After the match, Aussie Open, who were in Will's corner, they continue to beat down on Orange Cassidy. Punky Vice come in to try and make the save, but are cut off by Aussie Open and Ospreay. And then it hits. Katsuyori Shibata's music hits. I go wild. I love Shibata. Every time that do hits, I just like get goosebumps. I'm like, oh yes, something's about to go down. Out comes Shibata, clears house, and just kind of stares at Orange Cassidy. Orange puts the glasses on him, puts the thumbs up, and Shibata just stands there with the glasses on. It was a good little moment. Great seeing Shibata. Love Shibata. Great to see him come in, clear house. And yeah, very good match as well before that with Orange and Shibata. Very interested to see if this leads to like Shibata returning and maybe facing Ospreay for the US belt or something. Maybe. Is it just me getting my hopes up? Maybe. But yeah, very interested to see what that leads to, or if it even does lead to anything. Zack Sabre Jr. versus his mystery opponent, which of course we found out was Claudio Castagnoli, the former Cesaro. Very, again, as you'd expect with Claudio and Sabre, very, very good technical matchup. Both men went out there and put on a clinic. Claudio eventually gets the win with a powerbomb, puts away Zack Sabre Jr. and gets the win on his AEW debut in a fantastic matchup. And of course, as we found out, he is a member of the Blackpool Combat Club, and he will be in Blood and Guts. Of course, we knew that because Brian said whoever was placing him at Forbidden Door would also take a spot in Blood and Guts. But yeah, very happy to see Claudio in AEW. I'm very excited. I feel like we'll see a lot more good stuff like we did there against Sabre. And yeah, very excited to see what the future holds in AEW. Now, for Claudio, IWGP Heavyweight Championship Fatal 4-Way, Switchblade Jay White defense against the former champion Kazuchika Okada, Adam Cole, Bebe, and Hangman Adam Page. Again, this was a fun little 4-way up until the finish. We'll get into that in a bit. But, yeah. Basically, the story of the match, Cole and Jay White are working together, doing some double team stuff, we're having each other's back. Then, at one point in the match, they too sweet, and Adam Cole backstabbers Jay White. A fitting move for that scenario. Eventually, kind of everything breaks down. White ends up getting the pin on Adam Cole after Okada went for Rainmaker. Cole kind of like fell to a knee. I don't know if he was supposed to do that, because they did do a spot a bit earlier where he did reverse the Rainmaker. So I don't know if he was supposed to get hit with the Rainmaker and just Cole wasn't able to stand or something. And it just looked off, because then Jay White gets in, hits the Blade Runner on Okada. Okada rolls out, and then White pins Cole for the 3. I'm not sure if he's supposed to pin Cole on that either. So yeah, I think Adam Cole was a bit hurt. He did look like he was a bit out of it. He was able to walk out on his own accord, which was good. But yeah, I don't feel like that went to plan. I feel like either Cole was supposed to hit with the Rainmaker, or he was supposed to kick out. But yeah, he just seemed a bit out of it and a bit hurt. So it just kind of didn't come off the plan. And yeah, it was a good match as well, but a bit of a flat finish on that one. But they did do a good job on commentary. It was Kevin Kelly, JR, Excalibur, and Taz who were on commentary. And they did do a good job at trying to cover it, saying that was great awareness from Jay White to, instead of going for Okada, he seen Cole was down, he seen Cole was injured, so instead of trying to pin Okada, pin the injured Cole and get the win and retain your belt. So they did try and cover it on commentary as well. So yeah, anyway, hopefully Adam Cole is okay and isn't seriously hurt. Main event time, Jon Moxley, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Unbelievable match, awesome main event. Everything you'd expect between Mox and Tanahashi. They delivered a classic. Mox, of course, gets busted open as Jon Moxley would. And yeah, Mox eventually gets the win with the Death Rider for the 3 count and becomes the new, interim AEW World Champion. I was kind of hoping maybe they'd give it to Tanahashi just as a surprise. But I knew in my head that they'd probably give it to Mox, because would they have Tanahashi regularly available? Probably not, because he is the ace of New Japan, so New Japan probably would want them for their shows. But it would have been cool to see Tanahashi become interim champion, but of course that was not the case. Excited to see what they do with Mox now he has the interim belt. It really all depends on how long Punk is out for, because as soon as Punk is back, they will be running that program there to unify the interim and the AEW belt. Of course, he still has Jericho and the Appreciation Society to deal with inside Blood and Guts. Do they maybe go Mox and Jericho for the belt until Punk is back? We will have to wait and see. But after the match, as Moxley and Tanahashi were about to shake hands, Jericho and Daniel Garcia hit the ring and start beating down on Tanahashi and Moxley. Eventually that leads to Eddie, Santana Ortiz, Wheeler Yuta coming out and fighting off the rest of Jericho Appreciation Society are also involved. I believe it goes Kingston comes out, then the rest of the JAS, and then Santana Ortiz and all. And just everyone's brawling around ringside, everyone's brawling in the ring. Claudio's music hits, he comes out, clears house, and gets a strong showing. And like, he's the one, he's uppercuts everyone, he's swinging them around, he's the one that clears the house. And it gives him a big showing in the main event segment of his debut. And it puts him across as he's a top player here. He's someone that, you know, he'll come in, he'll take out the whole Jericho Appreciation Society if he has to. he's not someone to mess around with, which is good. They're putting him in a big position. Eddie Kingston is kind of not happy about Claudio, of course, playing off their history, playing off the history of Eddie Kingston and Claudio, where they're not getting really getting along, and Eddie's kind of shouting at Moxley like, why him, and like he's kind of shouting at Claudio, and that is kind of how things were off the air with the Blackpool Combat Club and Eddie Kingston, Santana Ortiz. I don't think they're officially in the Combat Club, but they're like working together in this feud. But yeah, they're left standing tall over the Jericho staring down with the Jericho Appreciation Society, leading into Blood and Guts on Wednesday. It's not really often you end the show building into something that happens on the weekly TV show, but it's Blood and Guts. It's going to be big. It's going to be fun. I might do predictions for that. We will have to wait and see. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy it, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the show in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one.